Robert Kiyosaki grew up in Hawaii in a middle-class family. His father was a highly educated man, a teacher, a principal, and eventually the head of the state's education system. But despite his degrees and positions, he struggled financially all his life. This man was Robert's real father, whom he lovingly called Poor Dad. At the same time, Robert had another father figure in his life, his best friend Mike's father. Unlike Poor Dad, this man had little formal education. He never finished 8th grade, but he understood money, business, and investing. He built wealth over time and became one of the richest men in Hawaii. This man became Robert's mentor. He was the rich dad. And so, from childhood, Robert grew up listening to two very different philosophies about money. Lesson 1. The rich don't work for money. When Robert was just 9 years old, he asked Rich Dad how to become wealthy. Rich Dad didn't give him a lecture. Instead, he gave him an experience. He had Robert and Mike work in one of his small stores, their pay just 10 cents an hour. The boys hated it. After weeks of sweeping floors and stocking shelves, Robert finally burst out. "You're cheating us. We work hard, but you pay us so little." Rich Dad smiled. "Good," he said. "Now you feel the same anger most people feel all their lives. They work hard for little pay, and they think the solution is to demand more money. But here is the truth. The poor and middle class work for money. The rich make money work for them." That day, Robert realized that chasing salaries would never lead to wealth. True freedom comes when your assets generate income even while you sleep. Lesson 2. Why financial education matters. Poor Dad always said, "Study hard, get a good job, and climb the ladder." But Rich Dad laughed at this advice. He said, "School teaches you how to work for money, but it does not teach you how money works for you." He explained that real financial education is not about degrees. It's about learning how to manage money, invest wisely, and understand the language of finance. Robert saw how his poor dad, despite his education, was often broke. Meanwhile, Rich Dad, with less schooling, had money working for him. This was one of Robert's most powerful realizations. Your education can make you a good employee, but only financial education can make you financially free. Lesson 3. Mind your own business. Most people, Rich Dad explained, spend their whole lives working in other people's businesses. They build wealth for their employers, not themselves. He told Robert, "Don't get trapped in the rat race. Mind your own business. Build and grow your assets." He explained the difference between an asset and a liability in simple words. Assets put money into your pocket. Liabilities take money out to house, which Poor Dad called his greatest investment, could actually be a liability if it drained money every month in mortgage payments and taxes. Rich Dad told him, "If you want to be wealthy, spend your life collecting assets, investments, businesses, rental properties, royalties. Let these pay for your lifestyle." Lesson 4. The secrets of the rich. Rich Dad also taught Robert about taxes and corporations. He explained how employees are taxed first and then spend what is left. But corporations earn, spend on expenses, and then pay taxes on what remains. The rich don't just make money, he said. They play by different rules. They use the law, corporations, and systems to protect and grow wealth. Robert understood financial literacy is about knowing the rules of the game because money is a game. Lesson 5. Work to learn, not just to earn. Poor Dad encouraged Robert to find safe jobs, climb promotions, and aim for a bigger salary. But Rich Dad had different advice. Don't chase paychecks. Work to learn. Learn accounting, marketing, law, and investing. Every skill you add will make you stronger in the real world. Rich Dad himself had mastered many areas. He wasn't the smartest in one subject, but he knew enough about many skills to build businesses and investments. That's why he told Robert, don't specialize too early. Become well-rounded. Skills will make you wealthy, not salaries. Lesson 6. Fear and greed. Rich Dad warned Robert about emotions, especially fear and greed. Fear keeps people working jobs they hate because they are scared of being broke. Greed drives them to spend every dollar they earn on luxuries and status. Most people, Rich Dad said, let fear and greed control their lives. The rich control their emotions and use knowledge to make smart decisions. This is why so many stay trapped in the rat race. They earn, they spend, they earn, they spend, never breaking free. Robert's reflection. As Robert grew older, he looked at his two fathers. Poor Dad was respected, highly educated, but always worried about bills. He left little behind except debt. Rich Dad was not as educated, but he left businesses, investments, and a legacy of wealth and knowledge. Robert realized that wealth is not about how much you earn, but how you think about money. If you think like Poor Dad, you'll always depend on a job. If you think like Rich Dad, you'll build assets, escape the rat race, and achieve financial freedom. Final words. Rich Dad's lessons can be summed up in a few timeless truths. Don't work for money. Make money work for you. Acquire financial education. Build assets, not liabilities. Understand the laws of money and taxes. Work to learn, not just to earn. Control your emotions, or they will control you. Even today, Rich Dad Poor Dad is one of the most influential books in the world because it doesn't just teach finance, it changes mindsets. And so, the question for you, the listener, is simple. Are you following the path of Poor Dad, stuck in the rat race? Or are you learning the mindset of Rich Dad, building freedom for your future? The choice is yours. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what novel you'd like me to tell next.